Hello, everybody. It is Misha Green, DC editor. I am so excited to be here with Matt Talley, the founder of Cool Kids Vinyl. But as we'll talk about in a second, he's been up to a lot of things far before this awesome new venture that he has with the storefront and Cool Kids Vinyl. But y'all know the drill. Before I even get started into the nitty gritty of the questions, we got to share the stream. So let
We
me go
do.
ahead and do that. And I think Matt is going to be doing the same. And then we'll get this party started.
Yep.
And
So I've just shared it.
perfect, perfect.
Perfect.
I'm going to do it live. Let me see if I'm able to tag you immediately now. I can do that later. Uh-huh. Okay. So, I guess the first question, since we are in a pandemic, since
Yeah.
we are still dealing with all of the, sort of the social issues of today, how are you doing?
I am well. I have my health and my well-being. So for that, I'm well. I think this year in particular, I'm not picky. I'm not complaining. I'm just happy to be healthy, be working, and still in a groove. Still in a good groove of things. So I've been well. I've been well. What about yourself?
I've also been very well. I am blessed, have my health, and I'm super happy that I can say the same about my family and friends. And I'm super excited
Absolutely.
to be talking to you. I told the people, I know our Afro viewers are not used to me like rocking a t-shirt. I had to rock my
Yeah.
undershirt today specifically because I was interviewing Matt Talley. And before we get into the amazing things that he's doing with Cool Kids Vinyl, which is brilliant, congratulations.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but before we get into all of that, I want to take the people back and why this moment is so incredibly exciting for me and
Yeah.
why I got to rock my shirt. So Matt, through these amazingly wonderful interactive experiences, and I think still does. I know we're in a weird world, so I guess not right now. But it not only here in Washington D.C. I know you were doing it in New York as well, I believe. And it was called or is called "Digging Through the Crates," and I had a wonderful opportunity to be a part of many of those digging through the crates experiences at a couple locations, from sort of warehouses to Big Chief, rest in peace to the great Big Chief, um,
Absolutely.
DJ Alizé. And I mean, it was truly epic. I am a secret music connoisseur. I definitely think I have a cool, eclectic taste in music. And my favorite artist ever is Stevie Wonder. And so that's why I'm rocking the Stevie shirt. But it was so
Absolutely.
awesome to be able to be a part of that experience because I felt like I was pulling out gems. And like I used to love it because I would show it to Alizé and be like, and he'd be like, oh, that's what it was. But it was
Yeah.
such an interactive experience. So precursor guys, I am still living in that world during this interview, I gotta tell you. But Matt, tell us about sort of your love for vinyl and sharing that with the people through first digging through the crates, and maybe it's before that.
Yeah. So I started my career interning for artists and musicians. I interned with Wale for a good number of years and got an opportunity to tour and do all these different things with different artists. So I've always had a love for music and affinity for not necessarily the music business, but the people that are involved in it and the people that kind of make the soundtrack to our lives. So I've always been a great um, not just hip hop, but just music lover in general. Started collecting vinyl about 7 years ago, and that kind of culminated the digging through the crates event, which you were talking about, with my mentor DJ Alizé, who is just a musical sensei or encyclopedia, if you will. So the premise of digging through the crates, we've been doing it for 5 years now. And I'll speak on how it kind of transitions into the brick and mortar space. But it was a traveling hip hop exhibit in which the people were interacting with the DJ. So you'll come and dig through crates of vinyl, you'll give it to the DJ, and he plays what you pick. So it's almost like you're curating the vibe and the energy of the actual event. So it was very interactive. We had hip hop memorabilia. We always had a featured artist or featured DJ. So before COVID, we did a 5 city tour, which included New York, Miami for Art Basel, Atlanta, DC. So it was a really good um, exhibit. We got a lot of good responses nationwide for it. We did LA a few times as well. So because of COVID, of course, it's slowed down a bit, but it kind of led us into eventually what we were trying to accomplish in the first place was a brick and mortar space for this experience, a place where you can come and grab a cup of coffee, a $10 T-shirt, a $5 Stevie Wonder record, and kind of re-garner that community of people that are just not just eclectic, but just in that type of space and energy, almost compared to like a hip hop Starbucks, if you will. So a coffee shop, a record shop that is meant for us, and us meaning like-minded people, people that have great musical taste, people that have taste in movies. We play VHSs every day. We have a extensive comic book collection. We have Jet magazine. So we really have that time capsule almost that puts you in that 70s, 80s, 90s realm where the music was just appreciated a bit more.
And what is the purpose for highlighting that nostalgia and really putting it at the forefront of the business itself?
Well, I mean, it's a great look. It looks cool. It looks dope. But we always say hip hop in general is the most influential culture on this earth. So we really have to care for that. We really have to open a lens and show, okay, how did it get to this point? What's the history behind this? So with anything, you learn where the trajectory of something can go if you know where it comes from. So I really like to pride ourselves on that and giving people that experience. So when they pick up that record, that Miles Davis record, and they see that, oh, he played with John Coltrane, he played with Cannonball. Like, oh, these are great stories and great knowledge that, if your grandfather or your grandmother or your aunt, uncle didn't tell you, you just wouldn't know, So referring that to hip hop, I mean, we have a lot of history. This is why hip hop is the most influential culture and powerful culture on our planet. So let's unmask that. Let's look behind that curtain and see how it got there. Oh, it got there through blues. It got there through soul. It got there through the civil rights era. It got there through. So it's all these different things that younger folk. I sound so old. Younger folk just don't have the knowledge of because there's nobody there to really show them that or teach them that. So we like to create a space that is, of course, fun. It's a photo op. It's interactive, but it's also a lesson as well, in which not just hip hop, but music in general and Black culture. You really have a lens into that and see why it's so important.
I love that idea that it's able to bridge that gap, and the intergenerational opportunity that you're offering through this, I think is super cool. Do you see, and excuse my dogs going crazy in the background.
It's okay. We love dogs.
Part of it. They're exciting. But yeah, do you see this being an opportunity for young and old to gather in this space and, eventually post COVID, et cetera, will there also be events, et cetera, that can happen and, really bridge that gap as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, the great thing about Maketto, it's so interchangeable, it's so progressive, and it's still that neighborhood shop,
Mhm.
So we get a lot of people off of 8th Street or in the Capitol Hill area that come for that morning cup of coffee, that come for that afternoon meal. So blending that crowd with the music goer, the everyday vinyl collector. We also sell an extensive collection of books as well. Just blending those different people together it's always a recipe for positivity, for progressiveness, and also just, you know, the sharing of knowledge, which is the most important thing. So um, it's just beautiful to be in here and see these different people connect, all through one common denominator, which is just having a great experience, whether it be through music, whether it be through food. I think Maketto is a safe haven for that. And of course, in that, we still want to abide by the rules. We still want to, you know, keep our distance and maintain social distancing and everything. So we may wait until about phase 3 or phase 4 for the city. Hopefully, people continue to wear the mask and practice social distancing. So hopefully around Christmas time, maybe, or in the holiday season, things are a bit more easier to have a grand opening, to have more events. But we definitely have a plan for programming. We want to do live podcasting. We want to do special cocktail hours, happy hour thing. So Maketto's already really had that nightlife or happy hour community. So bringing that back and mixing in some good music, maybe some live performances, is something that we definitely have in the plan. So we just want everybody to wear their mask and practice social distancing so we can kind of go back to whatever normal is, you know.
Well, I'm super excited for that. Please keep us posted when there's the grand
Yes.
opening, etc. All right. So you mentioned the neighborhood. Maketto is a great location. The 8th Street corridor is prime real estate. And as we know, the 8th Street corridor obviously has a strong African American history, but there's been a lot of gentrification. As a Black man now with a brick and mortar there, what is it like? What does that feel like? And how do you plan to interact with the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's you eat the fish and you spit out the bone. You know, if it wasn't for gentrification, it wouldn't be a lot of these different um, places and spaces to be at. But also, our voice has to be heard and it has to be held in some type of regard um, during gentrification. So for me, I think just showing people our importance, showing people how important the culture of A Street is. And especially during this summer, H Street been through a lot after the George Floyd protests. There was a lot of people that looted and rioted H Street, and you know, I had to remind people, hey, after MLK died, they burned almost all of H Street down. You know, so it's always been some type of cultural background to um, H Street in general. So I mean, just making our voices heard, still being engaged, still being involved, and just beyond H Street. That's my mantra for gentrification in general. I mean, it's I'm one person. I can't stop a moving train, but what I can do is try to be involved. So that's getting to know my council member, getting to know the ANC, getting to know who works in the mayor's office, who's making these decisions, you know, who's making these decisions for my neighborhood, getting to know that person. So just getting more involved and like I said, just sharing knowledge is how our people can not just stay in the city, but thrive in the city too. Because there are opportunities out here, but people don't know. There's plenty of grant opportunities. There's plenty of programs that the city provides to keep people that look like me and you engaged, involved, active, and creating opportunities for us to thrive. So it's just all about sharing that knowledge.
Love that. And so obviously we are in the midst of a pandemic and things are not normal. And I know opening a business could not have been very normal during this time. Can you tell us about that process and maybe some of the challenges that you have obviously been able to overcome in opening Cool Kids Vinyl?
Oh yeah, I mean it's been a journey in 2020. Before COVID, we had an idea of doing a brick and mortar space, and you know, we were afforded great opportunities before for different places and spaces that we can do it. And originally, it was gonna be in Southwest, but you know, when the pandemic hit, you know, most of the construction for everywhere pretty much stalled out. Um, and I've been working at Maketto 2.5 years now. I'm just the daytime manager here, and um, you know, our owner and founder, Eric, was like, hey, you know, I know the deal didn't fall through, but what do you think about doing the record shop upstairs? You know, we kind of want to bring a new element or something new and fresh when we open Maketto back up. I think it would be a great idea. It's a way to bring that community back. So it was almost like a glove fit here at Maketto, and everything pretty much is in-house and family based. Our creative director helps me a lot with our different graphics, with photo shoots, and our social media managers. So it's really a team effort. And I'm just fortunate to have a team around that kind of gets me and gets it. One, what the people want, what the people are into, and two, just listening. Like I said, I'm a daytime manager here, so for this opportunity to have my business thrive within the company that I work for, right upstairs, it's a blessing first and foremost.
That is so cool to have not only that collaboration, but that support to be bolstered and appreciated, and the art of what you're doing to be supported by your business is really really cool. Um,
Absolutely.
and again, congratulations. I
Thank
mean,
you. Thank
it's
you.
huge. It is huge. All right, so I want to tell the people because I know I can get selfish and ask all my questions. So I want to tell the people to go ahead, and if you have any questions for Matt, please go ahead and drop it down in the comment section. I see all those who are tuning in and saying hello, such as Valerie and Lori. And Lori Branch says she still has vinyls from the 70s. Oh, wow.
Hey, keep them.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, keep
Yeah,
them.
I definitely am happy that I have a collection of some of my dad's vinyls that I can still show off, but I
Yep.
cannot wait to see the collection that you have at Cool Kids Vinyl. I know you're gonna have some gems up in there.
And thank you. And that's the cool part. A lot of people when they think records, they think, oh, these old OJ's records and Earth, Wind and Fire. When you come to Cool Kids Vinyl, hey, we've got Future on vinyl, we've got the OJ's on vinyl. We have something for the old and new, and that's how you create that knowledge based community. Like, oh, this is where Future sampled Music Soul Child. Oh, this is the album in which, so you just go down this rabbit hole of just black culture and black music, and you learn so much. So this space is definitely a catalyst for that. You can get old vinyl, you can get new vinyl. If you love the new Lovecraft Country show, we have that book in stock. We have a host of different novelties and comic books. So once you come, it's an experience that you can take all in. So I'm looking forward to you coming through and seeing your taste in music. We got some Stevie Wonder records in here still too. Stevie goes quick. Stevie goes quick, but we got a few more in here for you.
I have to come soon and try to grab it up. There's some definite vinyls that I know I want. I want Stevie. I'd love some Shaka, but then I want some newer things like Frank. I'd love Channel Orange on vinyl. That would be
Yep.
great. So I already know what I'm going in there looking for. I'm super excited. I'm
All
super
right.
excited. Uh, so I have to ask because we are in a world where I can pick up my phone and say, "Hey, I want to listen to this track. Let me just go ahead and do it," and ask Siri to pull it up. What is the novelty? What is the excitement behind vinyl these days? Why should people seek vinyl these days? And obviously, the Cool Kids Vinyl has tons more than just getting records, but particularly, what is the hype around vinyl?
I think more so it's the experience.
Mm.
It's the process, it's the experience. Nothing beats, taking that record out of the sleeve, putting it on, hearing the cracks, and then hearing the music. So, one for me, the experience and the process. Putting on that record while you pour that glass of wine, putting on that record while you wash the dishes or you make your bed up. It's just a different process than streaming. And also, something I always stress is uh, the importance of ownership. Apple Music and Spotify and Tidal can be deleted tomorrow or at the click of a button, but I still have that Prince record. I still have that Aaliyah record. For example, Aaliyah's music isn't on streaming services, but I have her albums. when Prince passed, his music wasn't on streaming services. I think Tidal was the first streaming service that had his music, but for a good couple weeks, all his records were sold out. All his CDs were sold out. Because if you didn't have a radio or if they weren't playing Prince, there's no way for you to hear this music. So the fact that you own that record, it speaks volumes, you know, and you just get a better listen on vinyl. I mean, I still listen to music on my phone, of course, when I'm in the car and everything, but having that experience going home and pouring a cup of coffee or pouring a drink and having that record on, or having that record on with your family around, or it's just better than hey Siri, play Miles Davis. You know, putting that record on really means a little bit more than that.
Yeah. So we have a question from Messenger, and that question is, how old are you? Matt, to share?
Yeah, no, sure. I'm 28. I'm 28.
You know, I think it's really cool to see such a young person not only be an entrepreneur. That's so inspiring. And we need to see more people our age sort of being at the forefront of experiences and curating experiences for our community, but also having ownership. I think that's really cool. But I'm sure this person asked just because not only based off of the wonder of you being an awesome, young, inspiring entrepreneur, but also because you know a little something. All right, so let's take it out to see. Yep, Crandall Payne says, "Old soul." Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's take it to what the people have to say. Kevin Antonio Smallwood, who is my brother, and I want the people to know, is also my connection to Matt. That is
What's
how
up, Kevin?
I first knew about all Matt's cool things that he was doing.
Yeah,
So he says, the tangible experience of Black music and the power to bring Black families together. I guess the importance of having the vinyl, et cetera, and that experience. Thank you, Kev. All right, let's see. Lori Branch says, that's true. I don't know exactly what she's saying that's true to, but whatever it was, Matt, I know is spilling some gems for us. Crandall Payne also says, brings back memories of great times with the family. Samuel O'Pear said, so third art. But probably, I think just it was a typo, but something with art, which is awesome. And obviously, that is exactly what he's doing, is bringing art to the people. Okay, I think I got all the comments thus far. Oh, not old, fam, well seasoned. That's Crandall Payne has to say.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Seasoned.
Seasoned indeed. Seasoned indeed. All right, so Matt, any advice or inspiration that you can give to people who are also looking to create experiences or start a business?
I always say study other people. Study how other people have done it. I recognize that vinyl is an old technology or something that is difficult to have a standalone record shop. But if it's something that blends well, if it's vinyl and coffee, if it's vinyl and clothes, or something that kind of brings on another take, then that can be a little bit more successful. So just watching other similar businesses or similar people or a different realm of people, and don't be afraid to share knowledge. I think that's the one thing that holds us back as far as humans in general. Share knowledge. How'd you do this? Hey, ask questions. You know, how do I write a grant? How do I, get to know this person? How do I, do this business plan? Just ask questions. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's my only thing. It may be annoying, but I'm the person that asks 1,000,001 questions. 1,000,001 questions, just because I want to know and I want to learn. So always trying to learn, always being in a space to accept criticism as well. So if you can accept criticism and listen, and have a hunger for knowledge and to learn, I think you'll be okay.
Great advice. And I know that Alize has been a major brother, mentor, business partner to you. But who are the other people who you looked up to and asked those questions to that has gotten you where you are today?
Oh man, first and foremost, shout out to my Broccoli City family. Happy birthday, Marcus, one of the founders of Broccoli City. I go to them for a lot of things. You know, those are good brothers that do a lot of good in our community, in our city. Um, and like, you know, I'll call at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Hey, how'd you do this? Hey, do you really know this person? So you know, shout out to Broccoli City, man. Shout out to my Kenya McDuffie, council member in Ward 5. It's a lot of people in this.
Birthday too, right? I think I saw
I
that.
believe so. I believe it's Kenyan's birthday too. So
Okay.
just asking questions, man, getting to know people, asking questions like, "Hey, how did you start this?" or "How do I go about this?" So, for me, man, just relying on that village, relying on your friends, relying on your family, the people that you do some really good work with. You know, that's who I lean on every day.
And how much does the community influence the experiences that you create? I know obviously engagement is everything with digging through the crates, and that's what it seems like it has been and will be further with Cool Kids Vinyl. But how much is the community influencing your decisions as a businessman?
Oh, I mean, it's no business without the community. But also, you do have to be a firm believer in your ideas. You may be, you know, sharing something with an audience or a community that um, they don't know about this, but if they had the knowledge about it, they'll be into it. So, still, it's finding a balance of listening to your community, taking criticism, and also being confident in the plan that you set and the aesthetic and the overall branding. If you're an entrepreneur of your product, you know, a record shop isn't an idea that's new, but the way that you can present it can be a million times. And the intent, as long as the intent is back with positivity and um, something tangible that people can take home, you know, I think you'll be all right.
I love the notion of being confident in your product. Did
Yeah.
you have any haters along the way?
I mean, that comes with anything, you know. Some person or some people, you know, they don't like the way that you pour your coffee in the morning, you know. Like it's not really a focus, but it's there, but it's never really been a focus. When you're too focused on your agenda, you don't really pay attention to those things.
So anything that we should be, somebody is pinning something down there for the people to read. So make sure you check that out. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so I gotta ask because I feel like we are in a place of really needing music. I've interviewed a whole lot of musicians here recently: Chris Styles, Bacon, Richard Smallwood, Jonathan McReynolds, and the list goes on. But a lot of them talked about the need for music today. Obviously, you did Cool Kids Vinyl before you ever knew that George Floyd was going to be killed and there'd be protests. You did this far before we were in a pandemic and would have to be stuck in a house and get and have a cool habit like getting into vinyl, right?
Yeah.
But what do you hope that music can do? I mean, like I said, I've had some really amazing transformative experiences and digging through the uh, experiences you've curated. So I'm just curious, what do you see music
Oh,
doing?
well, music has always been the ultimate healer. One thing that people can come together on, if it's not religion or politics, it's music. Music drives revolution. Music is the soundtrack to our lives. Music is something that, you know, whatever you label yourself as, um, you know, you can share a common bond with somebody on the other side of the spectrum with your both of your taste in music. So music is the most powerful, in my opinion, tool that we have to connect to each other is music. And once people value that and treat it a certain way, I think that notion or that thought can be a little bit more in people's everyday thinking. that music is the key to everything. Music is the tool that we use. Music is the ultimate healer. So during this time, the soundtracks, the sound, I'll never forget, you know, when Kendrick Lamar released "To Pimp a Butterfly." That was a soundtrack to a moment in time that Black people were going through. So music can be the remedy for whatever uh, toxin or poison or situation or anything that you go through. And I just want people to realize that. And once you divulge into vinyl and cassettes and just the overall nostalgia that music brings, it brings a certain joy to me, I know personally, um, to keep going, to take that extra step, to go that extra mile, so people see the importance of what I'm trying to get across.
Music is the ultimate healer. Thank you so much for that. So let's see what the people have to say. Crandall Payne says, yes, music heals the soul. A hand up always beats a hand out. Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And thank you to all those who are tuning in. We really appreciate it. Matt, I am so proud of you. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you. This is huge. This is so huge. And just again, the intergenerational piece, the educational piece, the experiential piece is so
Absolutely.
good. It's exactly what we need. And so I am really, really excited. And I love Maketto. So this extra piece of my H Street experience is really going to be something to look forward to. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell the people how we can keep in touch with you, keep in touch with Cool Kids Vinyl, and know all that's going on with you and the store.
Yeah, so we also sell online. If you're not too comfortable coming in store, understandable. We keep up pretty much online as much as we do in store over at coolkidsvinyl.com. We're pretty on time with our shipping as well. 1 to 2 day shipping for your records, for your books, and everything like that. So you can follow us on Instagram at Cool Kids Vinyl. You can follow me at Talley, Talley, is major on all social media platforms. And you can find me at Maketto, H Street.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, you are not going to want to miss out on an experience with Cool Kids Vinyl or at Maketto or anything that Matt has going on event wise post the pandemic. We got to stay healthy and safe right now. Last few comments.
Absolutely.
Crandall Payne says, yes, fam, thanks for this. Lori Branch says, next time I'm in DC, I want to stop by. Do it.
Love, love. Please do. Please do. Miss Branch, we are waiting for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt. This has been amazing. And you have to make sure that anything you have going on, keep the Afro posted. Come back on Afro Live.
I
We got
will.
stuff going, I mean, once things open back up, we might have to do a fun interactive thing so that
Yeah.
our viewers can get a cool experience there, even if they can't do so in person. But I'm just ecstatic for you, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, I would love to come back. Let me know. I love it. Love it. Love to Afro News.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And as y'all know, thank you so much for tuning in. We are Afro News, the Black Media Authority. Tune into everything that we got going on by following us on social media. We're at Afro News on Instagram, Twitter, and Afro American Newspapers on Facebook. But you're probably watching us there now, so you know that. And we are also online at www.afro